everyone. Welcome to Radiant Living, Inspiring Humanity to Thrive. I'm your host, Marisa B. Today, we have joining us a listening-based wellness advisor who has a master's in nursing and decades of clinical experience. Today, we're welcoming Nancy Wigglesworth. Hi, Nancy. Thank you so much for coming to the show.
Hi, Marissa. It's great to
Now,
be here.
oh, I'm happy you're here. This is a topic, first of all, this is a topic near and dear to my heart because no matter what you try to do, there's always a question about health and nutrition, regardless of the age you're at. And of course, as we're getting older, especially as women, the fight seems almost endless. So I first want to ask you, how did you decide to get involved with this? Because you do teach women to reconnect with their bodies and with having energy and a sense of self. So how did it progress from nursing with all your years of clinical experience to this?
Well, mostly it transpired from my personal experience with joint pain. And as a nurse, it developed while I was nursing. And then with my own experience of people sort of ignoring it, telling me not to worry, it was just aging, nothing, take some Tylenol and be gone with you sort of thing. And so then I had a near death experience from the
Oh,
pain and exhaustion.
wow.
And that woke me up to, well, okay, it isn't just aging. I need to do something. I deserve something better than just being told, I'm just a bit of arthritis. And, there's 100 kinds of arthritis. So you've just got something, whatever. So it came
And
from my own experience. And then when I retired out of nursing, because I was a nurse consultant in my latter years working with seniors, and I saw the devastating effects of joint
yeah.
pain and how it ruined, basically ruined their older years when they retired. And I didn't want other women to have to suffer from that. So I decided, okay, I can share my experience and maybe help other people listen to what their body's telling them in a holistic way. Because there's science
Right,
behind
medication.
joint
Yeah.
pain,
Yes.
and I've got that background in science, but then there's the whole mind, body, and spiritual experience that I think needs to be added on to help your joint pain. A lot of our
Now,
emotions are tied to joint pain.
yes. So you feel that it's the emotions that are tied to the joint pain as well as the physical deterioration that's going on? Because I'm assuming that
Definitely.
it's physical deterioration. Now, see, this is the question. This is very interesting to me because you come from the sciences. I mean, you're talking about many years, as a registered nurse in the field. Um, is there a way, number one, first of all, to reverse this? I know that no, we haven't found the way to last forever, in this physical corporeal body. There's no situation where we can do that just yet. But is there a way to reverse this permanently, this deterioration? So, as they call it, say in the sciences, because they do say it's a deterioration.
Yes, they do. They're saying it's a natural part of aging, but I think science is going to catch up that it's not necessarily a natural part because not everybody gets it,
Right. And I'm
right? So
sure,
there's,
yes, it's true. And food is definitely tied to it. I mean, you can't I can only go by my personal experience, but you cannot tell me that if I've had, and I'm not really a sweet eater, but if I've had something sweet that has some sort of uh, refined sugar, I have joint pain. I do get joint
yeah,
pain. I know immediately that if I'm not eating that type of stuff, and because I really don't even like it, I'm not around it that often. So maybe that's when I can see it. If, for example, I've gone somewhere and I've had something, I know immediately, and it's almost an annoyance or a disturbance for me. So I know I don't want this. So I don't use it. I don't use it in my cooking. I don't generally use it when we go out, unless it's at a location where, someone has offered you something. But I can very well tell it's happening. I can see that there's
yes,
pain.
especially after you've stopped it for a while, like you say, you don't take it. A lot of people don't realize that and they don't believe it. And I, I see some that, they're advised by their physician to stop it for a month and see what happens. But the problem is it takes more than a month for your
Yes.
joints and your collagen to repair. And
Hmm.
the
Yeah.
science behind it is that, yeah, sugar damages the collagen.
Yeah.
It breaks down your collagen.
And that's really
Um,
what we need, right? The collagen. I know, right?
and
Everybody's
that's
trying to get
what
the
we,
collagen back in.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So, yeah, it's not just there is science behind it, but the science is often just, we're kind of a pill pushing society. So
Well,
let's
right.
take, they attack the pain, which is the symptoms, but not the root
Hmm.
cause. That's what I find, and that's why I wanted to get into it. Let's look at all the root causes because there isn't
Hmm.
just one.
Right. Now, I'm assuming because of course it must be an individual. That's my question to you. I find this so fascinating. So, for example, I mean, I'm sure you must be just beating back the clients because especially women, we seem to have a lot of these problems and they proliferate. The older you get, they just seem to come upon you and become part of you. And when you're trying to fight one, the other one's breaking out, and so we don't know where to go. And I'm sure it's individualized, but how does one go about it? So you're helping them all around with what? With nutrition, with exercises. I'm assuming this is a whole system that we need to change.
Um, I would, I don't know if I'd call it a system, but I help people develop a plan.
Hmm.
And so the first thing is getting to know your body better, and that includes your mind, spirit, and everything, right? So that is the first step I do with the people. And then it's individualized, so I don't have a plan that goes for everybody. So I make it very individualized. So you come to me and we discover what your body is telling you through joint pain. That's my main focus, but I have
Right.
dealt with headaches and stress and even high blood pressure.
Now, do you help people with the joint pain, for example? Because there, as you said, there's joint pain that they claim it's arthritis. There's joint pain because people have been injured. I mean, can all joint pain be taken care of? And do you feel that it all could be reversed because of the importance of collagen?
I don't know about reversed. I would hesitate to say that. I would say you can find relief. And for me, I was able to get, I mean, I haven't had further x-rays, but I was able to get rid of my hip and knee pain. But with my toes, I wasn't able to reverse it because when I started listening to my body, um, by the time I got proper treatment for my toes, they're pretty damaged. So right now, yeah, it didn't reverse that, but I'm preventing further degradation.
Well, I was really thrilled when you had time to come on the show because recently, and it really shocked me. I was I was at some event and I was speaking with a few different people, and a lot of them were younger than me. And they were either on their first hip replacement or going in for a hip replacement or needed a hip replacement. It was at least four people. And I would say three out of those four were younger than me and substantially younger than I am. And I thought, this is frightening. I first started to wonder, like, is this some kind of business all of a sudden that, the medical
Well,
field needs to
there is a
make
lot
money.
of
So,
money.
well, that's true too. But that's what I thought. It's like it seems like a factory. Like this was awful odd that all these people needed hip replacements. And I just found it strange. And then I really started to worry that that's the solution that's given to people. And I really don't think that that's the only solution. Like we're going to just rip this out of you and put something in plastic or titanium or whatever. Not that I have anything against the medical field, but there
No.
has to be another way. There just has to be something that can assist us.
Yes, and
Uh,
prevent further damage, that's for sure. And I don't know about the people you met, but so many they have one replacement, then they go on to
yes,
the other one too, and those surgeries have high risks.
yes,
Um, but I'm not saying don't have surgery. I'm just saying,
right.
okay, listen to your body earlier on. Like I
Yes,
was lucky
that's what
that
I
I
feel.
started listening, or I'd probably
Yeah, I
be
know.
having a replacement right now because
Wow.
nursing's hard on your hips and knees.
Well, of course, right, especially right because you're moving around and you're standing, and it is definitely
Yeah.
a profession that does wear joints down, for
Yeah.
people. But I was just quite frightened because I thought they're younger than me. What's the doctor going to say to me? I mean, I don't like to complain about pain, but an ache and pain, I want to find the more natural solution for it.
Yes, I think
I
that
don't, right?
that's what I'm after, the natural solutions.
I mean,
And
I just
it's
don't want to walk
natural.
around with a bag of pills, right? And I know that
No.
it's easy to get them. And, if you're traveling, it's such a burden to think, oh my gosh, I have to take all this with me, all these pills. I don't want to do that. And yet, we do have pain. I mean, there's no denying it. There are aches and pains that go on. I know if you go to a doctor, they'll tell you that you've worn down cartilage, and this is what happens as you get older, or things tear. And so, but I always feel that there has to be a way to address it, and early. I'm one for nipping something in the bud initially, as soon
Yeah.
as you see something,
Earlier
work
on,
from there. Yes.
in
Yeah.
fact, in England right now, there's a group of physicians that are recommending you start taking collagen at the age of 50
Oh,
because
wow.
they're
Okay.
ahead of us, right? They want to prevent
Mhm.
surgery, which is very interesting. But anything they post or try to get over to Canada or the US is usually taken down.
Oh, really? I'll have to look into that because I belong to the complementary medicine associates in England. As I've done schooling there, I've done courses there,
Yes,
working while I
look
was on
into that.
master's
That's
level. And
very
I have to see because
interesting.
I'm going to see if the complementary medicine association has anything about that, because I feel that prevention should be where we
Yes.
start, before we get to the point where everything has to be so drastic.
Yeah.
And I would think that they would want to see that. I mean, I can only talk from a logical standpoint, right? A lot of these tests cost so much money. The
Yes.
insurance costs so much money. You would think that even an insurance company would say, especially in the United States, I mean, we're talking thousands and thousands of dollars. You would think that they would try to find a way where we're all in uh, prevention before we get to this point where you need all these elaborate tests, you need all this surgery, where this costs so much money. And if you can fix it in a natural way, I would think that that would be better. I'm assuming
Well,
Canada's a little different, right? Because you have more, maybe capability, right? Because you have
no, not
socialized.
well. No, our health system is quite deteriorating right now in
Mhm.
Canada
Oh,
because,
really?
of
Oh,
course,
well.
you can't sustain that kind of money.
Well, you have
So the
socialized
governments
medicine in
are the
Canada?
government.
The
Pardon
government,
me.
yeah.
The
You have
government's running out of
socialized.
money. Yeah, but the
Right, right.
government's
The
running
government
out of
pays,
money.
yeah. Well, here we pay ourselves, and it's elaborate, and there's still there. It would be one thing if this is, and again, my personal opinion, it would be one thing if it was thousands and thousands of dollars and things were fixed and things were
Except,
corrected and things were and we felt better, but we're not. We're all in worse shape than ever before. And it's
and
quite
really, who
frightening.
wants? Yeah, who? For me, I wouldn't want to have surgery even if I had lots of money. So there's so many risks to it.
Oh, of
But
course. I mean,
anyway,
any
I
time, right?
think, but Western medicine has never really been strong on prevention. I
Mhm.
remember as a nurse, we did a lot of health promotion, right? Um, but in the hospital, you didn't have time. You were treating acute
Right.
diseases. So
Yeah.
it went by the wayside, unfortunately.
Mhm. Now, what would
But
you tell a client? What would be the first thing that they really have to do? Because say now the audience is listening out there, and they know they have to do something. They need to get on top of something here. Where do you start? Because it's really frightening sometimes, right? You have an ache of pain, you go to you go, especially in Western medicine, you go to a doctor and they're telling you it's something that could be really serious. What do you do? Like how do you try to avoid that? First of all, let's say that. How do you try to avoid that? Get
I
ahead of
think,
that.
yeah, I think to get ahead of it is a thing. And for women, especially as we age, we've been taught to grin and bear it, right? To keep moving, that we're the caregivers, so we have to keep moving and we forget to look after ourselves. So I think the first thing is to recognize what's happening in your body. So like you said, you have some aches and pains, but let's see, look at, I guess the first step is, okay, what are these aches and pains coming from? Where are they? How serious are they? What are they doing to me emotionally?
Mhm.
Maybe, I think that's the first step is looking at yourself. And one of the things is maybe you just need some rest, or maybe you need someone to help advocate for you.
Mhm.
And those are
Yeah,
all
and it's a
things that
vicious
I
cycle
do.
too. Right. And I
Yeah.
think it's a vicious cycle as well
Hmm.
because now you're in pain and I know that many people don't feel that the emotional aspect plays a part, but it really does. You're in pain or you have aches and pains, you're worried now because you don't know where it's coming from, you don't know why it's happening, and then you're trying to avoid further pain, so you make yourself anxious and nervous. I mean, I'm a therapist. I've had clients, they have panic attacks over the fact that their life is changing,
Yeah.
whether it's a mobility issue, right? Whether it's an illness,
Mhm.
that very definitely plays into it. So it is a vicious cycle. You're almost like a hamster on a wheel because you're trying to correct the issues, but then you're making yourself sometimes even more emotionally sick.
Yes, and pain
You're
makes you
adding to it.
irritable, makes you
Yes,
irritable
indeed.
and
I can attest
crabby.
to that. Yes, indeed. I can attest to that. And I think my family can too, especially my sister, because she only recently said it to me. That, and it's true, it is very much true because when you are in pain, you are a little bit crabby. And
Yeah,
yeah, sometimes you can be short with people and you can even snap if the pain is bad, especially if it's pain that goes on a regular basis. Um,
yeah, and that's what
but
I'm
I feel
talking
we have to
about
do
here.
something, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
regular basis. But I feel we have to do something. Like you have to be your own advocate. You have to almost be pretty much your own medical staff before you really go to anyone. You have to, because if you don't know how even to explain what it is or where it is or how it is, what do you do when you go to a professional? You have to be able to discuss it. So I really think you need to be on top of it. Um, and I do think that food has a lot to do with it too.
Yes,
The
definitely.
foods we
Like
eat. Yeah.
there's so many foods that do damage our collagen.
Mhm. Oh,
And
really?
and,
Oh, that
and
would be
that, yeah,
interesting.
that is a known fact.
Really,
So
we'll have to look that. Now you're
yeah,
talking
so
about
like,
actual foods or processed foods? Is it
processed
processed
food is one,
fruit?
but
Okay.
sugar is another.
Oh, sugar, definitely.
Gluten,
That's the
gluten,
enemy.
gluten is another. Alcohol, and it's not a
Well,
food, but I
gluten,
guess you could say lifestyle choices can
right.
damage.
Yes, well, that's for certain, right? Smoking, cigarette smoking, um, uh, illegal drugs. Well, even prescription drugs can have their toll because there's nothing that you take by way of prescription drugs that don't have a side effect somewhere, somehow, because it's
Yeah.
just something that you're introducing into your body that's not natural. So you're going to find something happening there. Not to say, oh, everybody stop taking your medication. No, but
No, no,
you
no.
have to be aware of side effects. But the reality is that the gluten, that question I have is like the gluten, was it always gluten was the enemy, or is it gluten now, especially here in the United States, that they've reconfigured the gluten or changed the gluten or done whatever they've done to the things because they've modified things? Is that really what the issue is, or did everyone always have this problem with gluten?
Well, I think we've only become aware of it in the later years, but the other thing is, like you said, the flour is so processed now. So a lot of people can still take ancient grains because
Hmm.
they're more natural, but the processed and white flour, those are the
Yeah. Oh,
bad
mm, yes.
glutens. And they know
Hmm.
they damage the collagen. A lot of people think, okay, your collagen is only in your cartilage, right? In
Right.
between the joints. But
Mhm.
that's not
But it's
true.
not. Right.
Your tendons and ligaments are 80 to 95% full of collagen.
Yeah.
So it's not just, so they replace your hip, but you've still got those tendons and ligaments that are
Right.
weak. So,
And I'm wondering the damage that's been done too. I mean, not only the fact that you're losing collagen, or the loss of collagen, but what is the damage being done to those areas because of the modification in a lot of the foods? I mean, like you said, processed food, forget it. That's
yeah.
just poison. Because
But it,
and for no other reason than because it's processed, right? Because it's chemically and mechanically changed.
mechanically, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But we're
And
a fast
so
food nation.
yes,
But
it's.
anyway,
I mean,
so
I'd like to see
yeah.
people go back to, and I do know it's difficult, but I like to see people go back to a more natural way, and I think a lot of people are. But but how does one work with you on a regular basis? How does that actually go? Because this is really a lifetime of work that one
Okay,
has to
well,
do.
what I offer is I like to start working with people for 3 months because
Mhm.
it takes 3 months for you to repair any collagen in your body. And
Oh,
so if I mean I can work with you for a month, but you won't see great changes.
right,
And
right.
if you want a quick fix, then you might as well just pop a pill because it's not a quick fix when it comes to your joints. So what I do is I offer 3 month sessions and or a year long, but typically right now I'm on the 3 months basis.
Hmm.
I have free master classes online about how to listen to your
Oh,
body,
mhm.
and these can be found on my Facebook page, which is Nancy Wigglesworth.
Oh, I will
Um,
definitely list that because I think that that's good that people really should start there, right? I mean, you'd have to learn to listen to your body or learn
yeah,
to know what to listen for, right? So
and
that's really
yeah,
nice that you have
so
that.
yeah, so I have that, and I have one coming up on February 16th.
Mhm.
Um, I don't know if you can mention that in your,
Oh yeah, no, oh,
no,
absolutely. I'll list it
yeah.
on. We have a lot of social media groups and pages that I can put that on. And I really want to know what do you think is the success rate, for example, out there as the natural way rather than say the surgical way? How do you find the success rate for people?
Well, there has been, I mean, I haven't had a study of my own clients. You can't
Right.
really do that versus one or the other,
Right.
but there has been scientific studies done on collagen, published in 2024, published in the orthopedic surgeon, which is interesting
Okay.
because they do the
Yes.
surgery, but they're realizing it's not sustainable. So uh, they did double-blind controlled studies about collagen, which is a natural uh,
Yes.
healing, and they did it for 3 months, and they found that the persons who took collagen, these were all people with the osteoarthritis in the knees. And they found that the people who took the collagen had significantly less pain and more flexibility than the people who did not take the collagen. So
And
that was
what do
a
you
very positive study. And it was only
and
that, and
collagen? How are they taking the
collagen
collagen?
supplements. You take
Supplements. Oh,
collagen
okay.
supplements. Yeah. And all of them
Okay.
were done on collagen powder. And it was
Hmm.
independent. It wasn't done by the people selling collagen at all. In fact, they didn't advertise what type of, well, they did what
Right, right,
type,
what it was, right.
but there was no brand naming in it at
Right.
all.
Right. Right.
And then in as early as 2019, there had been several studies done that also proved the same thing. But this was the big
Oh,
one because it was published in Orthopedic Surgeon.
right. Which is right important, as you said, because orthopedic um, people are orthopedic surgeons, orthopedic doctors are working more in the scientific realm. So to find out that the collagen, that they've done an actual scientific study or tried to get that study down is really interesting. I'll have to look
Mhm.
that up with the collagen because I find that, also that's another thing. You find so many advertisements for collagen, at least here in the United States. I don't know about other areas, but so many things for collagen, especially with social media, take collagen, but you don't know necessarily what you're taking also, right? Because you just don't know if that's really collagen or not, or where the collagen comes from. So I'm assuming that that's another issue that people have to um, discuss with you too. I'm sure you have something to tell them by way of that. Like if they're taking collagen, you just can't take any old thing because you
No,
don't know.
no. And I
Right.
do, well, I do sell pharmacy brand collagen, which I
Mhm.
feel is
Oh,
the one of the better one. It's made in Europe. But there is a lot of things to know about collagen before you purchase
Mhm.
it. So you don't
Right,
have to purchase it if you come to me. Uh, you can get your own. I just have to advise you like how much.
right,
Like some people take 2 grams and that doesn't do anything for your
right,
joint. So I talked
right.
a lot to people about how
Mhm,
much, what types,
mhm. And now,
and you don't
um,
want any fillers in them, right? You
right,
want
fillers. I was going to say, are there fillers and can you take too much? Could too much be dangerous?
Um, the only time it's really dangerous is if you may have kidney disease, but if you take the suggested amount, there has been no side effects. Um, so yeah, you wouldn't want to take too much, but I suppose some people would. But anyway, no,
Right,
there's a
right, right. Because sometimes more is not better,
yeah,
right?
more
More is
is
not better, more is not
what
quicker.
what they say is you're just wasting your money
Right, right,
if you take more.
right.
But
Yeah.
yeah, so that's the
And what about
college.
dieting? I mean, I'm assuming dieting has to, because collagen is wonderful to take, but I'm assuming the dieting has to be really one of the first things, which I think is sometimes difficult, right? I mean, do you
Do you
find that
mean
your
losing
clients get
weight?
not losing weight, but the actual diet, the change in lifestyle, the change in maybe eating habits, right? I
Uh,
mean, do you have that?
you you want the collagen to work the best. So yeah, it is way better and you get more efficiency if you do avoid foods that damage your
Right.
gluten. But you still get like these people in the studies, they didn't change their diet at all.
Oh, oh, okay.
They
Oh,
kept
wow,
every
that's
they
interesting.
kept everything the same. But for me, I believe you should look at it holistically, and so then I add the diet part in, right? But you don't
Yes, yes.
have to for it to work.
Mhm.
You have to
Wonder.
have enough protein though for your body to make collagen. So that's a huge thing about the diet is making sure you have enough protein.
Hi, everyone. Marisa B here from Radiant Living. If you like what we're doing and want to keep the conversations going, please like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know every time we upload a video. Thank you.
No, that makes valid sense, doesn't it? That even though that study that you were discussing didn't have the people in the study change their diet, but it would be almost useless to take collagen and then have products that you're eating that destroy collagen, because
Yeah,
really,
it
how
would.
good would that be? Yeah.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
what about exercise? How does that play in? Because I'm assuming that that has to be a part of it too. I don't mean strenuous exercise, but something that you have to do, that you have to movement, I'm sure helps.
Movement helps your joints and it's necessary to help the joints. Uh, so rest and movement have to be balanced and you have to
Mm,
coordinate that together.
mhm.
And depending on how painful and how bad your joints, you might not be doing a lot of movement. You might be doing chair movement, but you definitely need to keep moving because a lot of people just take to bed and that doesn't really
Yeah.
help your joints.
N-
You
No,
need
I'm
to
assuming
rest.
that's worse. Yeah.
You need to rest, but you need to
Mhm.
get up and move too. And
Yes.
of course, not only your joints, if you're laying in bed, you're going to lose your muscles.
Yes,
I don't
which
know.
is terrible,
A
but it
lot of
does
people
happen.
with, yeah, like a lot of people with fibromyalgia, they don't want to move because it hurts so much. But then their joints and everything else seize up. So, yeah, movement is important, but not it. You don't have to become a marathon runner.
Right. Right. No, it doesn't have to be strenuous, but it has to be some
Yeah,
sort of movement. What
yeah.
about stretching? What about stretching? Does that help? I mean, I know stretching helps muscle, but does that help as well?
Hmm. Stretching isn't a strong one, but I think it just like if you're stretching like this, right? You're
Hmm, hmm,
keeping your shoulders flexible. I think it
hmm,
helps the flexibility, which
hmm,
helps your joints keep moving. But
hmm.
that's kind of stretching would be kind of like gentle movement.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Gentle movement to, I mean, there's a lot to think about, and there's a lot to, I guess, put into place. But I think that
Yes.
if you're in pain, right, if you're in pain, you're looking for any kind of solution.
Yeah.
And
And something
right,
as
why?
simple as a stretch, I mean, that's pretty simple.
Right.
And if
right.
that's going to help me, I'm going to do it,
Mhm.
right? You can do that usually
Mhm.
without much pain.
Mhm. Right, exactly. Exactly. And how does one get a hold of you? So are you on, you say you have the like the um anything that they want to listen to, you have a social media platform, Facebook page where you're doing the um like the free class that you're offering uh that we're going to
Yes,
put out
and
there.
that's
How
how
would
they
they
can find
contact
me.
you? That's how they can find you
Or
on the
my
social media
email.
platforms? Yeah.
I can leave you my email.
I can put that in. How do you have a website? Do you have a
I
website or
have a
social?
website where I sell the collagen,
Hmm.
and they can get me a hold of me through there too. I can give
Hmm.
you that if you like.
And now, how is that a problem because you're in Canada? Is there an issue? Well, we're all having issues with this situation with tariffs, but because that's
Okay,
just the
so
way it's
what
happening.
we
But
have it's Pharmacy Canada and
mhm.
Pharmacy US are linked so that if you go to
Oh,
my
okay.
website, you just
Oh,
click
that's
on
good
the
to know.
US, you click on the US side and then you can,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's really interesting. That's really
And then
important to
it's
know.
shipped right to you. There's warehouses in the US and
Right,
if
right.
you, yeah, you can be shipped right to you. But
Hmm.
you should probably contact me to see about,
Oh,
you know,
sure.
I have special deals for my clients.
Sure. Yeah, that's, oh no, definitely. People, the audience that's listening, definitely contact Nancy first, because you really want to know what you're doing. You
Yes.
want to know how to
Mhm.
proceed. You can't just arbitrarily take something just like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
But so, and then are you on just Facebook or are you on other social media platforms?
I'm on Instagram
Okay.
under
So
Nancy
I'll
Wig.
link that. Yeah. I'll link all of that in the description
Okay.
um, for the show. I always like to link all of that so that any of the audience that's interested can make contact. Uh, but and I really urge everybody too, because
Good.
you don't want to just start on your own. I mean, I really believe that that's why we're finding more and more, right, coaching and mentoring, that it's so important because you need to be guided, right? I feel like you should be guided even though you may know what you want to do. Sometimes that strength is found by a coach, by a mentor, by a guide. I think that it's really important um, to seek that out to help you because right there's only one of us. That's
Yeah. And
we have to
also
take care of ourselves.
yeah, to encourage you for changing and
Yes.
to help. I like to help people understand what their
Mhm.
body's telling them.
Yes. Well, I do want to thank you so much for coming on the show, taking the time to explain some of this to the audience. I really think it's important, especially for women. As you said earlier, we have a tendency of pushing everything to the wayside because we have other things that either we feel are more important or society has told us are more important things. And so we don't really take care of ourselves, I think, as best as we can. And
Yeah.
before you know it, all the pain is there, and you don't want to get to that point. If we can really nip it in the bud early, right? I think it's so important. That's why I think it's wonderful that people like you are out there doing this type of work to help
Mhm.
everyone out there to even let them know that it's there, right? How many people don't even know that they can do something about it?
No, they don't.
Yeah. Yeah, so I thank you so much, Nancy. It was a pleasure having you on the show today.
Well, thank you for having me. It's been very nice and informative and get to know you a bit better too.
Thank you. Bye now.
Okay, bye.